Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Inspirit Nutrition. Emotional health. How to be emotionally healthy. Let's get it popping. So, it wasn't until recently that I began to improve my emotional health. Emotional health is paramount because a lot of times we neglect the feminine side of ourselves. This is people on the planet, period. There's the yin and there's the yang. The yin is more feminine. Everything has feminine aspects, the law of gender. You find the masculine and feminine. With the masculine, it's more aggressive, it's more eye for an eye, take what's mine, diligence, hard work, go for it, exercise, suffer through the pain, just keep trudging on, real short-term, acute, kind of fast-paced deal, neck break speed. But the feminine deals with the emotions, right? They say women are more emotional, but emotions are what? Energy and motion, right? So dealing with emotional health, you have to tap into your feelings, your body, your traumas, your childhood traumas, your fears, your insecurities, your inhibitions. And honestly, I used to be an emotional wreck. I used to have mad anxiety, depression. It wasn't until I really started tapping into that dark side, those emotions, and finding out where they were coming from. Why was I feeling inadequate? Depression, if you look it up, deals with a feeling of inadequacy. I had to tap into why I was feeling inadequate. Growing up, I had self-confidence because I excelled easily in school. I was witty, cunning, smart, things like that. So I usually had self-confidence, but diving deeper into my history, my personal history, I had to check things in my programs in my subconscious mind, as well as past relationships with women, relationship with my father, my mother. And I thought that I was my parents' mistakes. I thought I was my father's mistakes. In my other video, the lotus, the secret symbolism of the lotus flower, you see in that video how I talked about my father selling cocaine and moving kilos of cocaine, and me basically feeling less than and stigmatized because I was, his son, and society looked down upon that. So who was I to excel? Who was I to succeed, etc.? So I had to tap in to my emotions and my inadequacies and my fear and what was causing depression and anxiety and things like that. And I had to uproot those belief systems that I was my father's mistakes, that I was my current position at my workplace, and that was my self-worth. I had to tap into my self-worth. I had to tap into my self-appreciation. I had to tap into my self-love. This is emotional health. Brothers want to get fit. I'm fit, man. I could run 10 miles right now if I want to. But if you're not emotionally fit, it doesn't matter, because you could be in the gym and you could be physically fit, strong, or you could have a nice waist to hip ratio. You could have a bad body, but you don't see that because you're a wreck. So you're always comparing yourself to the next man, you're always comparing yourself to the next woman, and you have no emotional health. How do you build emotional health? First, you have to accept yourself 100%. Accept who you are 100%. Love your hair, love your big nose, love the structure of your hairline, love your eyes, love your big bushy eyebrows and your unibrow. Love everything about you. I'm a short guy. I say I'm medium height, but average height, but I'm short. Everyone in my family is taller than me, but I love myself 100%. I used to have some insecurities about that, and I still kind of do, but you have to take yourself and accept yourself 100%. That's how you start building up emotional health. Another thing is you have to love yourself 100%. How do you love yourself 100%? You have to develop compassion for yourself. You have to not be so hard on yourself. Don't trash talk yourself. Accept yourself. You have to excuse yourself of your mistakes. Don't beat yourself down. Life is already hard enough. You can begin loving yourself by doing what makes you happy, making time for yourself. This creates emotional balance. This creates emotional health. You have to dive into the pains that other people have done to you. So if you've been in relationships with women, You have to dive into that and really find out, what did she do to me, and how did it make me feel? Did I deserve it? Am I deserving of something better? How am I being treated in the workplace? How does it make me feel? Do I feel deprecated or less than because of what's happening in the workplace? You have to introspect and pull up these ideas and really look at them. That's how you develop emotional health. Now, you could be the biggest dude in the gym, but you have low self-esteem if you don't have emotional health. You have low self-worth, but you may not be the biggest dude in the gym, but you got the biggest heart, right? So you have to move into your heart space. You got to move into the heart chakra, the green chakra, right? You tap into that and you start building your emotional health. Another way to build your emotional health is by doing yoga, by moving, physical activities in general, but by moving with yoga. Yoga is good. You could even just say stretching if you don't want to do yoga, but stretching and yoga are good because the emotions are stored in the body. Emotions produce hormones like sadness, depression, fear. These feelings actually produce hormones in the body, and these emotions a lot of times are stored in different parts of the body. So you can tap in to deep diaphragm breathing. You breathe deep into your diaphragm. The diaphragm is what moves up and down. It's inside the underneath the lungs, in between the lungs and like the abdomen, and it moves as the lungs contract and expand. But you breathe deep and you start releasing emotion. So with the chest, you may have low self-esteem or low self-worth, but as you breathe in and stretch your chest out and put your chest out, you start releasing old emotions. You start releasing old fears. In the hips, sometimes it has sexual trauma, you know what I mean? It's stored up in there. So you start releasing that, stretching that, doing different stretches, and you start releasing these emotions that you could feel that you've been burying. Once I improved my emotional health, I improved my whole life. It changed my whole life. When I improved my emotional health, it improved my self-worth. It improved my old traumas that I had from childhood. Like I said, my father not being around, being a drug dealer, my mother passing when I was young, having to fend for myself. These emotions that were built up, they were stifling me. And a lot of people are stifled by their old baggage and the skeletons in their closet, but they think, I'm physically fit, I got my financial health popping, physical health popping, but your mental and emotional is all off. Your heart is all off. So now you're abusing women. Or if a woman, you're accepting abuse. Man, you're accepting abuse because your emotional health is off. So now you accept things that you feel that you're worthy of. And the universe sends you what you think you're worthy of. So if you think you're worthy of less because emotionally you feel like less, you feel sad, you feel down, then you're going to get less repeatedly, consistently. But once you learn how to be happy, once you learn how to accept yourself, once you learn how to roll with the punches, let things go and smile, life will change. Improve your emotional health, your physical health will improve. Improve your emotional health, your sexual health will improve. Your relationships with the opposite sex will improve because your relationship with yourself has improved. Improving my emotional health has changed my life. I tapped into the feminine energy. I tapped into the emotional energy. Breathe deep, because when you're emotional wreck, you're dependent. You become codependent on supervisors. You need their praise. You need their approval and validation. You become dependent on family. You become weak, handicapped. But when you're emotionally healthy and strong, you love yourself. You depend upon yourself. You're self-reliant. You don't need outside sources of approval. It's nice to have friends, family, mentors, people building with you, but you don't take everything personal. You see what I'm saying? Because you're emotionally balanced. You don't accept energies from men and women, depending on your sex. You won't accept a woman who's coming with a certain energy because you're healthy. You don't have any issues, right? You accept yourself. You may have issues, but you're building, you're working on yourself. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, promoting emotional health. It's even better than physical health. You got to have both, though. You got to have both. So you got to love yourself 100%. Have compassion for yourself. Dive deep into your insecurities, into your fears, into your traumas and pains, and bring them up. Breathe deep and see what's causing all of this. How can I look at it? How can I solve it? How can I heal it? Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Inspirit Nutrition. Peace.